Hey, greetings, friends. Dennis LaRue here, your executive and life coach, and this is the hashtag Steel Toes Required quote of the week, episode 81. And before we jump into that quote, happy Easter to you. Hope you had a wonderful time with worship services, with family, Easter egg hunts, whatever you did today. I hope you had a wonderful time, wonderful day, a relaxing day, a restful day, and also an encouraging day. I want to take the time to jump into our quote. Hey, Dawn, good to see you, my friend. Tonight's quote comes from a book that I got this week and devoured this week. Ryan Hall, the American record holder in the half and full marathon. Now, for my runners, before you get all bent out of shape when I say marathon, he ran the fastest time on American soil in the Boston Marathon, and the Boston Marathon is not included in the record-keeping stages. So I understand that, but still, Ryan Hall ran the fastest marathon on American soil. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if it's Boston, New York, Chicago, pick your marathon, it's still the fastest. So as far as I'm concerned, he is the American record holder in the marathon, and he definitely is in a half marathon. And this is his book, Run the Mile You're In. Now, you might recognize this title because I've used that statement by Ryan many, many times because it's some of the best advice I've ever received, not just for running and training, but for just in life in general. Just run the mile you're in. And so he wrote a book on this about his life, about his running, and about just all aspects of his life. You have to get this book. I couldn't put it down. There are a few books, when I read them, I can barely put them down. This is one of them. So I'll show it up again. I'll even post the Amazon link for you in the comments afterwards. Ryan Hall, Run the Mile You're In. And so that's where our quote comes from tonight. Our quote, Steel Toes number 81, comes from Ryan Hall's new book, Run the Mile You're In. And there's 26 chapters. There's 26 miles in a marathon, so each chapter represents a mile. This comes from mile 3 called Sacrifice. Interesting, huh, for Easter, right? And here's our quote. Here it is. The way to enter my God-given destiny is through the door of focus, which can be opened only with the key of sacrifice. I'll say that again. The way to enter my God-given destiny is through the door of focus, which can be opened only with the key of sacrifice. And that's Ryan Hall. Whew. There is a lot there to unpack in that one sentence. And that one sentence summarized that whole chapter on sacrifice. But with anybody who is elite, now again, he is the fastest half and full marathon runner in American history on American soil. He's a 2-time Olympian. So that's elite status. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, business, whatever your industry is, to be elite, there are clues to becoming elite in all of those areas, and they all come together like this. And tonight, just in this quote, there are 3 things that will help us grow elite in our given fields in what we do. And I want you to know that he discovered the first one, which is purpose. He said, the way to enter my God-given destiny. Clue number 1, purpose. Knowing your purpose. Now, Ryan discovered his purpose at a very early age. He was a teenager when he discovered his purpose. Now, you know the sport. I've already told you that purpose. There's more to it, and I'm not going to spoil it because you got to get the book. But purpose, he discovered his purpose at a very young age. And what I'm telling you, what I learned from this is, regardless of age, you got to know your purpose. You've got to know your purpose. And 2 questions that come to mind that every one of us, I think, wrestle with is, first off, what is my purpose? What's my purpose? But then the second is, here's another way of saying that. Why am I here? Why am I here? Now, to work through this purpose, to answer those questions, you've got to dig deep. Honestly, this is where journals come in. Journals are for answering those type of questions, getting that out of your head and onto paper. Not just typing it, but writing it down and really working through those things. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Having conversations with those that know you the best, that know you well, those that you trust. In this case, Ryan was talking to his dad about this and working through this. But ultimately, he came to that conclusion apart from his dad. What about you? Maybe some of you already know that answer and you've worked through this. Feel free in the comments below, share some ways that you discovered your purpose, and answer that question, why am I here? For those of you that don't, your action step number 1 for you from this, start journaling. Get that answer. If you don't get that answer, how can you be elite if you don't know where you want to be elite in what direction? Because once you understand your purpose, once you can answer that, the second thing that Ryan brings out in this quote is the door of focus. When you know your purpose, it sure has a way of narrowing your focus. Being laser focused. In order to be an Olympian, you have to be laser focused on what it is you're doing. Now, I'm not an Olympian, but I've been a lifelong runner, and I have been around runners, and I have been around some exceptional runners, and I have met some exceptional runners and met some great coaches and read biographies. Behind me, you're going to see biographies of some of the greatest runners of all time. Steve Prefontaine is back there. Bill Bowerman in Oregon. There are so many back there. I've got Frank Shorter back there. Some of the great runners in history. And when you read about them, they were focused, a narrow focus on what it was they were doing in their event. It's the same in business. There are some of you here tonight that are coaches, speakers, and trainers, and you know how you've got to narrow down into your niche, growing that business and staying focused in the topics that you know well and teaching in areas that you know well. Well, here, it's all about focus. When you know your purpose, then comes your focus. So let me ask you this. Are you out of focus? Where is the camera a little fuzzy and a little hazy? Where do you need to hone in? I love that, Dawn. My purpose is to connect with those who deserve to know each other, who can bless each other and the world. Dawn is a great connector. She absolutely is. That's a great purpose statement. So what about you? Honing in on your purpose, getting that focus, laser focus. Because where are we at today? I mean, we are in a world that is easily distracted. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I struggle with distractions. I get shiny object syndrome. I squirrel, looking around. My window's right over here, and when it's open, I'm easily distracted. I've got my desk. You can't see my desk. I've got a lot of distractions on my desk. So narrowing that focus. What are those things outside that are vying for your time, vying for your attention, that's taking you away from focus? And I want to pause for a moment because I want to thank you. Those of you that are here that take the time to watch this and comment each week, there are many other things that you could be doing with your time. And I thank you so much for being a part of this each week. And it really blesses me to know that you take time in life to spend time with me in these moments. And I'm greatly encouraged by that because it helps me to focus, knowing that you're out there. So thank you, and I appreciate you. But besides focus, once you've got your purpose and it narrows your focus, as you're going through that focus and dealing with those distractions. How are you, Melanie? Dylan, I saw you out there too, my friend. When you narrow that focus, you know what we have to do? To open that door of focus, we have to sacrifice. John Maxwell would call that the law of trade-offs. It's not, when we think of the word sacrifice, it comes across very negative, and it may even come across as a scarcity word, but that's not where we're coming from here. It's a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift because in order to get to where you want to go and fulfill your purpose, You have to let go of things that you know in order to take hold of things that are unknown. And that's where the sacrifice is. Giving up the good for great, you'll hear people say. Letting go of what's known in order to be that elite status. You can't keep doing what you're doing with what you're doing, with who you're doing it with, and how long. There's that idea of sacrifice. And sacrifice is not a negative thing. In fact, I'll read another quote from this book because Ryan Hall really does a great job on this idea of sacrifice. Listen to this. He said this. I got to put my glasses on here, so hold one. There we go. He said this about sacrifice. He said, sacrifices are things God is calling us to give up for our own good. If you think about it, it's not really a sacrifice to act in a way that will improve yourself. I'm going to read that last part again. If you think about it, it's not really a sacrifice to act in a way that will improve yourself. That's a big picture mindset. Anita, good morning to you. Think about that for a minute. If making the decision from where you are to where you want to be, to make that decision, it's not a, oh man, I can't believe I can't do this anymore, I can't have this, or I can't go in that direction. It's not can't. It's, I'm moving towards becoming a better version of me. I am moving towards reaching my full potential. I'm moving towards achieving what it is I was made to do. That's not a sacrifice. You're being set up for excellence, for greatness. It's a whole mindset shift. We want that. What it is with sacrifices, there in between that, I see as a gap, and it's called fear of the unknown. It's leaving what we know to move towards the unknown. And then there's that fear. There's also that fear of making a mistake. There's that fear of what if? We get the what if syndrome. And we go down that worst case scenario and we start spiraling downhill thinking like that. When our mindset should be, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to go. And if this is my purpose, and if this is my focus, then this is what I've got to give up to get there. Are you willing to make that trade-off? What is that trade-off for you? If you've discovered your purpose and you're getting laser focused, then what is it that you've got to give up? What's the first thing that comes to your awareness? It could be a bunch. Now, what I'm not saying is now start dropping everything all at once. What I am saying is there are some things that are coming to your awareness right now that need some serious consideration. And if you know for a fact deep down inside of you that you have to let that go, that you need to make that step, then when are you going to make that step? There's no need to debate it anymore. There's no need to journal out, because deep down inside, you know, your conscience is telling, I know I've got to make this. So when are you going to make it? When are you going to make it? Because your purpose is calling you. Your destiny is calling you. The people that you were designed to be around, to impact, are waiting for you. It reminds me of the trip to Paraguay a couple of years ago. And part of that destiny, part of that sacrifice, part of that focus that really, really shook me to the core is hearing from somebody say, Dennis, you are an answer to my dream. Who's waiting? Who's out there waiting to say your name, that you are an answer to their dream? Would you be willing to sacrifice whatever that is for somebody to say that to you? To be that answer to their dream? Maybe it's a country's transformation. Maybe it's an individual. Maybe it's a business. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But I want you to think about that statement. Who out there is going to say that statement about you? All because of the sacrifice that you're willing to make right now. That sacrifice. Hey, Mom, good to see you back. And which leads back to your focus. Are you focused? I'm not saying you're driven, not driven. We are driven. You're driven. Those of you that are here week in, week out, you're ready to kick down the doors and become the best version of yourself. We're driven. But there's a difference between being driven and focused. Is your drive focused towards your purpose? Work on those. Now put all of this together. To put this all together for today and wrap it in a bow, answer these questions. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Once you answer those, now on your focus question, where am I misaligned? Where am I out of focus? And then for the sacrifice portion, what is it I need to let go so I can grab hold of what's greater? And who is out there saying your name and you are the answer to their dream? Listen carefully. Success leaves clues. Ryan Hall has left us a clue of how elite people, elite performers, elite athletes think, how they prepare, how they become that way is through the part of this process. This is only a little bit. This isn't everything. Get the book. This is just pieces. These are just pieces of the puzzle. There's many more out there. But these are the pieces I uncovered from this quote. This is 2 sentences in a 200-plus page book. Here's the book again. Run the Mile You're In. I'll show it to you again. I'll post the link for you from Amazon. Go get a copy. It will impact you greatly, I promise. And for my runners, I know it will impact you. For those people of faith, it'll impact you. And those of you looking to grow in different ways and become elite, the way you become elite is study people who are elite and apply the lessons they learn to your life. And folks, that's the Steel Toes. That's your Steel Toes quote of the week. I'll close it one more time. I'll read the quote one more time. Ryan Hall said, "The way to enter your God-given destiny is through the door of focus, which can be opened only with the key of sacrifice." Well, thank you for tuning in tonight. In the comments below, let me know, again, if you've already found your purpose, found your calling, and you share and you have a clue to help others, please drop that in the comments and let's help people get their answer. For those of you that don't have your answer, follow these comments. Also, read the blog. We'll be posting a blog. These questions will be there for you. And please journal. Start taking up journaling and journal what's resonating with you in your purpose, in your calling. Write these questions down and then just start journaling through those questions. You'll get your answer. Find your purpose, get your focus, and start making the decisions and sacrifices you need to make to get there. And this is a daily process. You will not become elite in a day. It's a daily process. Just like John Maxwell says, you can't become a leader. You can't change everything in a day, but it's a daily process. What are you going to do to your daily agenda? To get to where you want to be, you got to change what you do daily. Here's the chance for you to change something daily to lead to your elite status. And now I close, as I always do, with our Steel Toes quote of the week with the blessing. I pray the blessing of bread that you know no hunger. I pray the blessing of salt that your life would be filled with flavor and that you would flavor other people's lives. And I pray the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. Friends, again, I'm honored and humbled that you took the time to be here with me today to help each other grow. And I want to again wish you and yours a happy Easter and blessings to you this week. Tune in next week. We'll be here next Sunday, same time, same channel, right here, 8 p.m. Central for the next hashtag Steel Toes Required quote of the week. All right, friends, I appreciate you. Like, comment, and please, if this will add value to people in your circles, take a moment and just share this with them. Blessings to you, my friends. Take care, and bye for now.